Okay, all set.
Okay. The meeting of the Northborough Housing Authority is beginning pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Housing Authority will be conducted by a remote participation. No in-person attendance by members of the public will be permitted. I will now call the meeting to order. Finally. According to the meeting agenda, we'll start with the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review and look at the minutes? Are any comments? And if not, I need a motion to accept it.
So moved.
Second, Brad.
Okay, Elaine and Brad. Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a vote. All in favor?
All right.
Elaine, aye.
Brad, aye. Rita, aye. Okay, so that's passed. Report of the executive director.
Okay, so I have one vacant unit here, one elderly unit at Heritage Village. I finally did get Crestwood Drive rented after many tries. So we just got one going on right now. So as far as that's kind of the day-to-day, we did get I did get a notice from DHCD talking about, that we can slowly start, opening things back up if we want to, with our own discretion as far as community rooms and all that, but they still want people to wear masks and social distance and all that kind of stuff. They are still all working remote. So anyway, I know Brad had just asked Rita what we were going to do, and I don't know, I just as far as meeting, but I just said we usually don't meet in the summer anyway, maybe just one more month of remote, and then maybe September we'll come back.
Yeah, I was thinking September. By that time, hopefully we'll have more information. It seems to be very conflicting right now. No one seems to know whether to wear a mask, not wear a mask, or whatever.
Yeah.
And DHCD still isn't bad. I would say probably next month Zoom, and after that we should be, hopefully in September, we should be able to
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking too. So I guess, the rest of the stuff that's kind of going on, pertains to some things that I've been working on and also, on some projects. So let me talk about a couple of the projects. I sent you guys a couple of pictures of my window project. I've been kind of, really trying to figure out the best thing to do here with what happened. Again, it's not the end of the world, but it's just kind of like Brad was saying, par for the course sometimes in housing. We waited a long time for him to be able to get everything in, and and then he puts these windows up and they don't line up really the way that they're supposed to. And so anyway, it was, again, kind of, I see basically I think the Housing Authority does have a leg to stand on, because the contractor was supposed to have the mock-up approved before he ordered the windows, and he did not do that. So he's trying to do whatever he can do to try to make it right without him having to eat all those windows and then order new ones, which will take 5 months to get in. So he had put up a bottom piece, and he put up this sort of shingle type roof hang, which was the first idea. I said, no, don't like it. And then they just put up this, you can see it in the picture, this sort of shelf life. I mean, it doesn't really make a big difference. It will blend in. That is going to be all, it's all going to be white when it's finished. It's just supposed to sort of offset what you see. I mean, you can have nothing there if you choose to. So it's up to me to decide whether I want to, keep it as it is, move the project along. He will give us a little bit of a monetary kickback by installing some new locks and stuff that we were supposed to have to pay for ourselves because we're swapping them all out. And maybe some additional painting on the top that wasn't included, a couple of things like that. Other than that, it's, if I say, no, I want the windows, I don't know, it could drag out a little bit. At first, he kind of said that it wasn't his fault. And I dug my heels in and said, well, certainly isn't my fault. So, he may try to go to DHCD to fight it, but, the housing authority does have the right to do that if they're not happy with the work that's there. I just don't know whether it's that much of a difference to put up the fight. So I've just been kind of contemplating a little bit. So I'm just, it's, I know the decision probably has to be made by me, but I'm happy to take anybody's feedback and, to see what you guys think. You pay the bills too. And, I wanted everybody to, look at it and, so maybe you guys can take a ride by if you want and take a look at it. I mean, again, it's not finished. It's going to be the white masonite, but it's kind of hard to tell by the picture. But it's definitely off. The two middle windows should line up. And what it would be is he would end up having to change the two side windows on the top would stay the same. The one in the bottom would change, and the one in the middles would be a little wider, and they would line up a little bit better. So if he's required to change them, so maybe you can, everybody's in the area. If you don't mind, take a ride by, and maybe you could pull in and take a look. And
Those windows are not inside anyone's apartment, right? It's just
No.
the hall.
They're in the hallways. Nope, it's hallway windows, and they're just replacing the whole front. It was all chipped and paint. You'll see the difference.
Which would give me, if you want to exchange them, tell them to get the ones with this. Who cares? I mean, really, get the right ones, get the right windows.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, they're nice windows. They're hobby windows. They're not cheap windows. They're good windows. I just feel like, we waited quite a few years to get the money together to do this. And it's just a little bit disappointing to me to see that people come in and they screw it up, and it's like, you're kidding me here, and, the engineer, he should have probably specified the exact window sizes, and he didn't. He put what the rough openings were. So it probably left room for error, so, anyway, that's that. So, just would, like I said, I wish it had come out right the way it's supposed to, but, it can be rectified. And, I think ultimately, I want to see the windows that are supposed to be there. That's my feeling. And, I think no matter what they do, to me, I still look at it and can tell the windows aren't lined up. You can't, you can trick your eye, and to somebody, driving through, they might not know it, but, I know it, and it's going to stay like that these have been here for 40 years. It's going to be probably another 40. It should look right. So it's like a little therapy session talking it through. I think I figured it out. So,
I'm whatever decision you want to make. That's fine by me. I really, it's up to you really to make that decision, so I don't, whatever you decide,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate and it just gets me annoyed. So that's that. And then, with the maintenance garage, I think, we had talked about it last month, about doing the second floor. So we did get back. I looked at the money situation. We don't have quite as much money, that we can use out of capital funding, which would mean we'd have to take quite a bit out of reserves, more than I think that we would like to see for the housing authority. But I have been working on a couple of other things, to come up with some money. So to back up, we talked about this second floor. It'll be somewhere, could be anywhere between 250 and 300. I mean, things are so crazy right now with the price of lumber. I'm sure everybody knows that it's probably not a good time to bid it out anyway right now.
Mhm.
But anyway, so as it stood, we have really like $112,000 of capital money. Okay, so that leaves almost 200 that we would have to take out of reserves, which is a lot. But I did go into the capital plan. We did find, because some of these projects are made a while ago, there was some stuff that was supposed to get done in one of the families that we already did. So that's, we got rid of that project. That's $35,000. So I got another 35. Then today we were in there, our past couple of days, and we have a project for emergency lights for the hallways here at Village Drive. And I don't know who made this. Before, when we had those EBI people come through, they come through and they look at all this stuff on your computer and come up with these plans. They put together this project, and I think it was way more money than what it's going to cost to replace what we need for emergency lights. So it may allot us, if I can get this straightened out, we'll still do these emergency lights, but it could give us another $50,000, which will be really good.
Mhm.
So it'll get us closer to 200. Andy said that I reached out to Kathy and asked her if we could possibly put in an application for CPA funding. I have not heard back. Andy said that he was going to reach out to John Campbell and ask him. They said it's possible that the maintenance garage could be used, because it is relating to public housing and something that we need. So it's possible we could maybe try to apply for some CPA funds too. So if I can at least push over that other 50, which I don't know for sure, but I think there's a chance that it would, at least get us back up to where I thought I was as far as what we have for money. So it'll get us closer to 200. So I think, we probably could, we could definitely, use some, come up with some of our own reserves. We know that. But it's just, we don't want to come up with too much, because then if there's some unforeseen things, then it's just not a good place to be. So just going to figure out a couple more things with the funding, and we'll take it from there. I think especially if we could, maybe if we could put in like a CPA application for like $50,000, that would be ideal. That would.
Lynn, what's involved with that? Can you just simply do it? Is that a?
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it, and they can turn it down. Anybody can put in an application. So like I said, I guess I could just do it anyway. And I think, there's money in there. There's probably no reason why I apply for more than that. So, it's might push it out a little bit, but if it helps us out financially and kind of, to me, almost gets us through this sort of.
It's not like we've asked them for a lot over the years since this whole thing started.
No, we
Yeah.
haven't put in
Right.
money, nothing at all. We haven't gotten a dime of CPA funds.
Yeah.
Used
So,
a lot of our money. Used a lot of
yes.
our own money.
Yeah, so I think that we should work on it. Like I said, it might push it out so that it's probably not gonna bid out yet, but I think with the cost of materials, I don't know that it's such a good idea anyway, you know. With the-
They're gonna get more expensive, so if we could get in maybe now, we might at least get a price they can hold on to rather. So, all you can do is try, Lynn, and that's what you've been doing, so.
Yeah,
Good job, I must say.
yeah, so, that's where we're at with that. So those are the main two, things that I'm trying to, focus on. And then, we have the new fair market rents came in that they come out with every 2 years. So I do need to get a board vote to approve the fair market rents that we fall under for Worcester, Mass. Their fair market rents and the
The income limit.
net income, yeah. By
Yeah, you need you need a motion for the income limits and the fair market rents. Can I have a motion? I know you sent that copy to everybody,
I did,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so we need to have a motion for the income limits and the fair market rents for, what is it, for till what, 2023?
No,
Usually 2 years.
yeah, that's right. It's effective April 1st, 2021, and it's usually for 2 years, yeah.
Okay, so we need to have a motion to accept the income limits and the fair market rent.
Motion made, Brad.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second it. But I do have a question.
Sure.
It's okay. Okay. It's a
Um,
motion and second. Any questions?
There you go. Thank you. Now I have to remember what my question was. What happens if we don't accept that? It sounds to me like it's a done deal.
You really don't have a lot of options.
Yeah,
One of the reasons that they change it is because every year the fair market rents get changed through the federal program of HUD. And because the state adopts a lot of the federal programs as far as the housing goes, with HUD, then the housing authorities have to accept them. And they go for every 2 years. And every 2 years they've been increased. And a lot of it also increases the income limits, so that people who might have just been below 2 years ago might now actually be eligible. So, and then the fair market rents kind of coordinate with the income limits.
Okay.
So it really is something the board needs to do. And I also think it's a way of the state making sure the board members know what the housing authority limits are for income and rent.
Thank you.
yeah. So in other words, Elaine, when somebody comes in to apply for, say elderly housing, and if you look at this under one person, it means that they can have an income of up to $55,350 and still get into public housing. So, when I take their income, then that's how I decide if that's one of the things that they're
Right.
that they're
And that's
qualified.
quite a bit higher than it was.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I think it was 40 something last year. I mean, the income limits are pretty liberal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're pretty.
high.
I
They're a
mean,
lot
people
higher.
obviously have higher rents when they have higher income.
Right.
But they, there's very, they're pretty liberal for low income,
But that won't affect the higher limit does not affect the percentage.
No.
So none of that changes. It's just.
None of it changes. This is mainly for,
Okay.
the income limits is for me to determine whether people are eligible.
Okay,
Fair market rents simply states that nobody is supposed to be paying higher than what their rent is.
right, okay.
Okay, so for one person, for two bedrooms, that kind of stuff. So
I
that's
see.
okay. So it's basically limits so that it keeps it that people that are low income are in housing.
Okay, I just wanted to understand it because if someone reads about that, they're going to ask me. So I
Yeah.
wanted to understand how
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Okay, so we voted on that?
No, we have to
Yes.
vote on it.
We have to vote on it, sorry. Thank you. to keep me on track. We need a motion to accept the income limits and the fair market rents for Northborough Housing. So I thought Brad made the motion.
Yeah, he
He
did.
did, but we didn't vote. And I seconded it, but we haven't
And
voted.
Jen seconded. So now we take a motion to vote. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye, Elaine.
Aye. Aye,
Brad.
Brad. Myself. It's unanimous. So it
Okay.
passes. Sorry. I'm still trying to figure out why this isn't working.
I know, that's so
Oh.
weird.
I know. So it's not a
Reason-
fun way to.
The reason
I'm
why
gonna
we're
get
off,
off and figure it out.
the reason why we're off a little bit, we've never been here this long on a meeting.
That's true.
True.
It's very late.
It's very late, yes.
All right, so just my two policies. So I needed to update my rent collection policy, specifically just because it was a little bit out of date and I needed to kind of go over it. And we've had some incidents that with people that, you know, want to give us cash for rent. For a while there, they were telling us that we couldn't, that we needed to take cash, but we don't have to take cash. Taking cash is difficult, especially with the banking. We're now able to deposit all our checks electronically right to Bank of America. Sometimes people need change. So the main thing that's added to this is that my other policy did not say was that cash will not be accepted by office staff. Everything else in it is pretty much the same as it used to be, but I needed to just make sure I have that in writing. So that,
Lana, can I just make one suggestion to you?
yeah,
On your rent collection policy, cash will not be accepted, period. I think by just saying the office staff, some people could misinterpret that and say, well, if the office staff, maybe the maintenance could. So I think just leave it.
okay,
Cash
I'll
will
ju-
not be
okay, I'll
accepted, period.
just say cash will not be.
Yeah, that's a good
Cash
point.
will not be accepted.
Period.
Don't put down
Yep.
on anybody. Just cash will not be accepted.
Okay.
Perfect.
Will do.
All right, if everybody's had a chance to look at that rent collection policy, which I have, I need a motion to accept it.
So moved, Elaine.
Elaine, and I
Second,
need a second.
second, Brad.
Brad. Okay. Any other questions? If not, then I will accept the motion to approve.
Okay,
All right,
Elaine,
Aye.
Brad, aye, and I'm aye, so it's unanimous.
and then the other policy is some things that I've had a policy for family tenants, but I expanded on it a little bit. You know, after sort of reviewing some things that, you know, happen and how happen with families and things that are, you know, shouldn't be going on and things that create problems. So I expanded on it a little bit. You know, the first things, like I said, are things that are, you know, restricted. You know, people can have a grill, but they can't, you know, we've, like I said, all these things have a reason. Somebody set the siding on fire one time, you know, it just, so, you know, things with, you know, they can plant flowers, but they can't dig stuff up and, you know, I don't care if they have pots and plants, but they can't have crazy vegetable gardens all over the place and that kind of thing. So they've always been required to mow their lawn and rake their leaves. You know, mounting things on the walls is fine, but they can't make any other changes to the inside. And then the bottom part are just things that are not allowed because they're either a liability or, you know, DHCD recommended type of thing. So we've always had no swimming pools, trampolines, and swing sets. Always no car washing or unregistered vehicles. Fire pits is another one that I added because people are starting to put those in their yards. Space heaters and patio heaters can be dangerous. Bird feeders, a lot of times they attract a lot of animals and stuff, that, you know, drive other neighbors crazy. So if anybody had a chance to look at it, anybody wants to discuss
know
it,
what?
you have on there,
How about,
Okay.
how about unregistered cars?
it's on there.
It's on there.
On there, the
It's on
private,
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
car washing, car repair, or unregistered car, or unregistered vehicles, yeah.
Good.
Because,
We
yeah,
just have a
we have had that, like you
Yeah.
said, that does go on sometimes, you know, too. So,
I do have a question on the second bullet
yeah,
where it says digging up the grass or remove shrubs to plant. Instead of a period, can we put and vegetable gardens are not permitted?
digging up.
Make it a little clearer.
Yeah, that is a little kind of wordy, digging up the grass.
Okay, that's
doesn't-
the only thing I have.
Yeah. I need-
Anybody else got any other? Brad, you all set with it? Elaine, you all set with it?
Yep, I read it.
Okay, then I'll accept a motion to accept the policy for the 705 tenants.
Your turn, Brad.
motion made. Okay.
And I'll second.
Elaine second. I third. Motion carries. It's unanimous.
Yeah, I'll put
they're
on both of
both
those,
tenants.
that they're as amended, so that, you know,
As amended.
Yeah.
Which is good. I lost my, here we go.
say, let's see. Okay, so I think that's it. I think that's probably,
Well, good luck with
Okay.
your decision, Lynn, on the windows. I'll take a walk by. I know you think you've reached your,
no,
Is it-
like I said, I'm happy, like I said, if you can, you know, drop me a text or a line or an email and let me know what you think. You
yeah,
know,
will do.
okay. Just be probably waiting a while for them if we do decide to wait, you know, that's
Right.
the problem, but.
Oh, no one's gonna get cold. It's out, it's a hallway.
No, I mean,
Right.
there are windows are all fine. It's just the front of the front of the
Mhm.
buildings are all peeling and everything, and that's why, you know, we
Yeah.
want to make it nice. So,
Yeah, make it nice, right? That's exactly
Li-
what you said. Make,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So Brad, Lynn, Brad, you alluded to this before, I think. He is going to finish the job at this point. He's gonna, where the Tyvek is, he's gonna do what that is gonna happen, correct? Regardless?
yeah, I haven't really talked to them about it yet. I assume
Because
so.
once
You know,
it's done, it may look worse or it may look fine. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard to tell with
Yeah,
Tyvek, so.
yeah. I mean, I can certainly ask them if they can finish it off, you know, and before we make a final decision.
Yeah, that, it might be helpful. I mean, I don't know, it's,
Yeah, I don't know if there's a
Yeah.
certain procedure that they have to do, but I can, it doesn't hurt to ask, you
Yeah.
know?
Lynn, did you have any payments that we need to vote on? Capital payments, or are you all set?
No, I don't have any tonight.
Awesome. All right, then I'm going to go to the approval of the payment of the bills for a total of $45,653.13. And Lynn did send out a copy of the warrant to all of us. So if anybody
Yeah.
has any questions about the bills, then I will then take the and I will take a motion to accept the bill payment.
that's my turn, so I'll, so move.
Elaine made the motion. Brad
I'll-
second.
I'll second, all right.
I'm third. and
Yeah,
it's
we're good.
unanimous. We're very good. Thank you. All right, that takes care of that. Do we have any other business to come before the board outside of the fact that I can see that it's still installing Zoom on my laptop?
You
Next
made
time
it.
I'll bring my
You
iPad.
made it. That's good. That's good.
I know.
Thank
I
you.
know. It
No.
looks like the next board meeting that will again be Zoom will be in June.
Yeah,
And,
June 2nd.
Second. Yeah, June 2nd. Wow.
June 2nd.
This is going by super fast. But if we don't have anything more to come before this wonderful meeting, then I guess I will be asking for a board vote to start adjourning the meeting.
I have one complaint. I have one
Okay.
complaint. Why the heck
Uh-oh.
am I wearing a sweatshirt in May? Now we can continue.
Same reason I have a sweater on. Brad has a sweater on too,
Oh, my goodness,
Like,
sorry.
what the heck?
because
Well-
it's freezing out.
It's dark out now. It's freezing.
All right, we need a motion to adjourn, and
'Cause
the
it's-
time is, wow, 6:55. Gee, this
Yeah,
is late.
late.
for me.
This is
Next
global
time we'll be-
warming.
I'll figure it out. But anyhow, who made the motion?
Motion made.
Motion
Thank you.
seconded and voted on.
Thank you. Elizabeth. Okay.
All right.
Motion to adjourn. Have a very safe month, everybody.